In the misty, secluded town, a place with many disappearances, the police announced they were close to finding the culprit. Jack, a culinary expert, arrived because of the reviews. Dozens of them all said the same thing. The best hot dogs in town and unforgettable. No photos, no address, just the name of the place. Jack stepped inside. The air smelled of grease and old spices. Behind the counter, a man stepped out of the shadows. A sausage still steaming, smoke swirling in small rings, as if just taken out of the oven. He took a bite. The sausage's casing cracked, revealing a soft, moist interior that tasted like meat, but richer. Jack paused and continued eating, devouring it. Jack asked about the sausages. The old man did not answer at once, but let out a dry laugh. Then a sound came from somewhere below. Sharp and cold, like the sound of metal scraping across a floor. Jack looked around the wall. A picture frame stopped him. A man holding a scalpel, standing in the middle with his face smeared. Behind the counter, the meat grinder began to move slowly, the clacking sounds echoing abnormally, as if something inside was pushing against the blade. Jack found an old notebook behind the counter, filled with handwritten recipes. One page read, "Human blood and spine," for tonight, as a screeching sound came from the basement. The basement door was closed, but a red light was still visible below. Jack reached for the handle, his hand shaking. Jack stepped through the wooden crates, marked Mia, Julie, lined up along the damp floor. One crate shook slightly, very slightly, but enough to make him hold his breath. As Jack tried to run, the meat hanger fell from the ceiling like an iron claw. A slash across his cheek, and the blood under his skin began to boil. Jack smelled the sausage stronger, not from anywhere else but from his own body. Jack clawed at his stomach until it bled, then collapsed as a voice from within his chest said that part of him was ready to be. He opened the industrial freezer. Inside was a severed hand with a wedding ring and a slab of meat shaped like a torso. The light flickered as cold mist rolled out, mixing with the blood dripping onto the floor. He staggered back and knocked over a tin can. The can burst open, spilling sausages and human fingernails. The old man appeared behind him and injected a needle into his neck. Jack collapsed in a pool of blood, his vision blurring with the clang of metal. Jack woke up naked in a cold room filled with hanging corpses. His chest pulsed unnaturally, and one eye turned yellow like a blood-soaked coin. He was chosen the moment he tasted it. The old man was gone. Jack stood behind the counter in a clean apron, calmly serving the first customer of the day. A newspaper on the table read, "Famous butcher shop owner mysteriously disappears. Butcher shop inherited by son. Tradition always finds a new face." The radio in the diner still plays, only one portion every weekend for the worthy. The secret stays fresh because no one survives long enough to tell it. The streets, they're filled with corpses and things that are no longer human. They hunt anything that moves. Once you're bitten, there's no turning back.
While the government still has no plan to control the pandemic, please lock your doors and do not leave your home.
I was a top student at one of the most prestigious medical schools. I didn't just study. I lived and breathed it. The lab was my home. Here, Doctor, Drake and I spent months researching a virus that could alter human biology. We're not just studying here. We're messing with the very fabric of life. Human lives, man. First off, we started testing on the mice. They were stronger, faster, but something was off, you know? After 7 years of digging, we made it. Something that could flip the whole world upside down. Drake, my mentor, he called it the future, the biggest leap for mankind. But contrary to what we believed, we were wrong. The thing we made, it wasn't just a change. It was a death sentence. We need human trials, but the risk is too high. Who would agree? Mr. Drake found volunteers. The homeless, the outcasts of society. People no one would notice if they disappeared. They had no idea what was coming. We didn't tell them the truth. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But then, they changed. They became stronger, faster, but they were no longer human. Everything spiraled out of control. Their bodies were ripping apart from the inside. They weren't human anymore. We couldn't control it anymore. We birthed abominations. We have brought about our own destruction. There was no going back from the hell we created. The last of them, they were completing the change, and it was horrifying. Everything had failed. Then and there, I made up my mind to end him. But then, he started tearing himself apart. Once Eric was done ripping himself to shreds, he came at me. A single shot. Eric got a piece of me. Drake caught sight of the bite. He ain't gonna let me walk out of here. We unleashed this monster, and it's destroying us.
University X. That's where it all began. Not a single soul left.